Hello, friends. Today in the ECS STEM series with stalwarts, we have an exceptional stalwart with us. Why do I say exceptional? Because he has been an outstanding student, he's been an outstanding professor, and he's been an outstanding scientist. Why do I say so? Bachelor's, master's, whatever he studied, he is almost 100%. And in the world of perfection, you never give 100%. You always eliminate that 1% because otherwise it's called surreal. So here is a person who is so surreal, but yet so real right in front of us, who has done his bachelor's and master's in mechanical engineering. He has taught, he has been an assistant professor in mechanical engineering, also been the deputy head of the department. He has gone ahead to be the scientist and then a step ahead to become the technical manager, where he is overlooking not just the technical part of it, but also managing multi-million-dollar projects. It's a great pride and privilege to have with us Mr. Kevin Gibbons and to talk with us today. Welcome, Kevin.
Oh, thank you, Niketa. In your words, you're too generous. I'm so happy to be here to discuss engineering and how it has affected my life and will affect the young people who you are consulting with.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin, you started off studying mechanical engineering. Why mechanical engineering?
Oh, that was very interesting. Ever since a child, I've been very, very interested in mechanical objects. I can remember the day as a teenager taking lawnmower engines apart and putting them back together and the excitement when they would run. And then I've always been interested in the Air Force, and that's because of my love of aircraft and the mechanical systems involved in the aerospace industry.
So that's really interesting because Kevin works for the aerospace industry. He has worked extensively with defense contractors, and he is based on the US Air Force Academy, which is a sprawling 18,800 acres of pristine beauty, one of the largest campuses in North America. So Kevin, can you please tell us also what would be the relevance and scope of mechanical engineering? I mean, everybody may not be as lucky and fortunate as you are, who has been at the best places, whether it's education or work. But in today's times, from your very vast experience, what can you say? What's the scope and relevance of mechanical engineering in today's times?
Yes, the scope of mechanical engineering has always been huge since the Industrial Revolution. Mechanical engineering is probably the most broad engineering field that there is, because just like I did, studied mechanical engineering, I was able to put that knowledge to work in aerospace engineering, for instance, even though I didn't have an aerospace engineering degree. So aircraft would be one area, but automotive industry is huge. Even as automotives turn electric, there are so many mechanical systems. You know, a computer, the interface that humans have with the computer, from a mouse to a keyboard, it all has mechanical components. And the love of mechanical engineering is because it is so broad. I can work on materials and study material properties and how materials are used to benefit mankind. I can work on heating, ventilating, air conditioning systems. Like I said, automotive, but it even crosses into civil engineering in the design of bridges or of buildings that can withstand earthquakes. So the scope, even in the field of space exploration, is just so huge, and I love that about mechanical engineering.
We are listening from the horse's mouth. It's impressive to know that one field can have so many different extensions and is productive given enough input, can bring out results in fields from aeronautical to aerospace to material science, civil also. And you've spoken about the wonderful scope and the relevance. I would like to ask you also about the challenges in this field.
Oh, wow. Well, the challenges also relate to the scope. It can be difficult to be an expert or study to be an expert in all of these different areas. So it actually forces individuals to specialize at some point in their career. But at least in the beginning part of your career, you have all of these doors open. And I didn't even mention biomedical engineering, for instance. Imagine the challenges of trying to integrate materials and integrate systems into a human body. It's mind-boggling to me, the advances that we've seen and the advances that are yet to come.
This is very, very nice that you spoke about biomedical engineering. We also do sector analysis and industry analysis, where I have mentioned very elaboratively how biomedical engineering could be the catalyst for new age solutions, whether it's finding drug discovery or a patch for obesity and so much more. So it's interesting that you speak about it. It's nice to know.
It certainly warms my heart, the opportunities that are available to young people these days. You know, you take knowledge of mathematics and you take knowledge of science and you apply those in areas that will help human beings around the world and will help human beings when we leave this world and go into space. So it's just the possibilities are so endless. It's exciting to me that the young people have these opportunities.
So you spoke about science, you spoke about engineering, you spoke about math. Yeah, in STEM, we consider M as also management, and that's where you are right now. You have been an exponent in the field of engineering, but now also managing engineering projects, multi-million-dollar projects. And I know this because I have worked in close collaboration with you. And you have—
I think your office was beside mine.
That's right. That's right, Kevin. And it's amazing how the bigger picture could be some X $100 million, and yet you were very meticulous about that single $1 that it should find its place in the right kitty. But management was also people, the right people, right? Working on the right projects. So
Yes.
what you are doing is what a lot of companies crave for, a person like you, who's a technical manager. A manager that's not come from a plain, pure MBA, but somebody who has solid expertise in engineering, who has worked hands-on in various projects and knows the nuances, knows solutions, and now is willing to manage. Can you tell us about the journey of technical management and what it enlists?
Wow, the journey. Well, like you say, it starts out, I think, by, learning your field in a way that you understand the little details, technical details of your field, so that when you are working with people, especially young people, you can guide them in ways that help them to expand their horizons. When people are excited about the job they're doing, they will do a better job for you. So I take my experience and how I had mentors whenever I was a young engineer, and really use those experiences to help guide me in working with people in the engineering field, especially young engineers or students who aspire to be productive and successful engineers.
What are those special qualities that are required that books don't say or websites don't speak about? But we would like to know from you, Kevin, from your first-hand experience, to be a very successful technical manager.
I think that work ethic is probably extremely important, both from the perspective of the manager and the perspective of the person being managed. So it can't be replaced by anything. Love of the field is important. I think that patience is a key. We as human beings, we have such potential. We also have challenges that we have to overcome. As long as we're all willing to recognize that we can all improve and be better at what we're doing, and take suggestions or constructive criticism appropriately and act on it, then suddenly you can be very happy at your work, and you can be very happy working with other people.
What a wonderful piece of advice. And you have blended so many things into one. And there are so many qualities that you've mentioned that are losing. They're losing in today's times, right? You've talked about patience. Patience is either with machines or people too.
That's right.
Severe and CS. That's required in today's times. So these are very, very valuable pearls of wisdom.
I think that attention to detail is another one. I think that persistence is a human quality that cannot be underestimated. If at first you don't succeed, you try multiple times, and finally you're going to get to a point where you have an understanding of a situation, and it will come together for you.
Wonderful. Kevin, you've been a brilliant student. You've got a 4.9 out of 5. That's fantastic. You've got 3.9 out of 4. So whatever you've studied, you've excelled. Would a younger Kevin would have appreciated the education that you received if it was completely debt-free, like with full scholarship? Yes, so probably you know that me and Team ECS, we guide students for international but debt-free education. The reason we focus on debt-free education and without compromising on the quality is so that when a person progresses in life, he or she actually progresses without having to repay or to think about repaying the student loan or the study loan, which sets back a person by so many years. So this is something that we do, and you've seen our journey in person. We've interacted, and also on social media you've seen that. Would you like to speak a little bit about your inputs on me or the work that we're doing?
Oh, Niketa, I can't say enough. I think it's wonderful. You're exactly right, that to be burdened by so much debt when students finish their education can be somewhat demotivating. Mm-hmm. And I think that burden goes past their school years, many years into the future. And so to be able to help students to achieve in the academic world without carrying that debt forward is huge. And I don't know if you've seen in my resume, but I had an Air Force scholarship. That's how I got my undergraduate.
So you value scholarship.
I so much do. I was an enlisted member of the Air Force before I went for my education. And the Air Force saw me as someone they were willing to invest in and give a scholarship to and say, hey, we'll give him a chance. And I have, for the remainder of my years and will into the future, so much appreciated what that has done for me. Same thing happened for my master's degree. The Air Force decided, oh, I think we should send him to to a good school, and they sent me to MIT. And I'm not an Einstein, I'll be honest. I am a hard worker though. And the way I got through that MIT experience was my work ethic. And that meant my weekends were not my own. But it is so worth investing those weekends during that time toward my education and getting really good grades that you know, that it just propelled me into my future. And I would implore students who have an opportunity to put the video games away, to dedicate their time and their efforts toward their education, and they will be successful.
Kevin is a little bit shy, viewers. Let me tell this to you. The amount of scholarship or the level at which he was to get a scholarship from Air Force Academy, not just for your bachelor's, but for your master's too, it's a minimum of anywhere from 0.75 to $1 million US. It's what we are speaking of, the conservative number. These are the finest brains that are handpicked, cherry-picked, trained, put trust in to study so that they can excel in their work, but also give back to the society. And Kevin Gibbons has been one of the proud recipients. To get such a scholarship, it's no easy task, but as he's mentioning, it's a great thing to enhance and to progress in one's life. So thanks for the inputs on that. And last question to you. You also hire a lot of young professionals, young engineers. You have been into that in that level. So what are the qualities that you really look for young professionals? What is something over and above being of excellent grades, or what is the mix of things that you would want to look into people?
Yes, the first thing, Niketa, I think is trying to discern their work ethic. You can get part of that from the type of school that they attended and the type of grades that they got at that school. But that's only a component of the picture. So I love to see that students that have graduated and then apply have done other things in their life as well. And if they involve developing young people, those are the types of things I like to see. Someone who knows their field and has a love of people and helps by developing people younger than themselves even, those are people who I think will excel at almost any job or anything they put their mind to. And I really look for those things more so than the technical excellence in academics, to be honest.
And this is a very valuable input because Kevin serves on the board of, and he's been in various conferences. He's traveled the world. He's been from countries from Australia to Japan. He's met people from crisscross across the borders. So these inputs, I'm sure what he's voicing out are, of course, his own, but a common sentiment that people at his highest stature look at. So if you're wanting to excel in life, and if you have a person like Kevin with whom you're interviewing, these are the qualities that they would want to look at. And friends, you cannot build them in one day. It is a process that you will have to build in. So it's really interesting that Kevin spoke about the benefits of mechanical engineering, and then transcended to aeronautical and operations or technical management. In today's world, things have even blossomed even more in these fields. And some of the full-blown bachelor's or master's program that you can study could be computational mechanics or mechanical and process engineering or design and development in automotive and mechanical engineering. Kevin also spoke about the materials and structures, and here is a very interesting program. It speaks about computational mechanics of materials and structures. It's gaining great popularity because it has the right blend of a lot of things. So gone are the days when you're studying just pure any field, but focus on specialization, as Kevin has mentioned in his interview. And if you are wanting to be into aeronautical field or aerospace, there is still a beautiful blend. It's called transfer fluid materials in aeronautical and space applications, aeronautical management, or aerospace engineering. And if you're looking at project management to do the work, if a person like Kevin is your role model, and which he is a role model to so many. And if you take him up as your role model, you could be studying operations excellence, or you could be studying project management, but with a specific focus on data science. That way you have decision-making science, proficiency. You could be studying strategic marketing management. That's another area. It's not just simple marketing of refrigerator or things like that, but strategic. How do you connect to government? How do you crack down a deal? And these are multi-million-dollar deals, either short-term, medium-term, or long-term. How do you do technical mobility management? So various options, various aspects for you to study on. And it has been an absolute pleasure to hear and have this wonderful interaction with you, Kevin. Thank you.
Niketa, I just love the passion you have for your students and for your work. And it's been a true pleasure to be able to discuss some of these things with you.
Thank you so much for your valuable inputs. And it has been not just mine, but Team ECS pleasure to have you on the ECS STEM series with Stalwarts. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.